Today, I have somebody who shared the stage with people like Jack Canfield and Les Brown's daughter, Serena Brown Travis, and many other fabulous people. And as you can imagine, somebody who is just an average Joe next door, not always can achieve that. My amazing guest today, Robert J. Moore, is not only a therapist and a 5 times internationally awarded bestseller speaker, a business coach, and a publisher, but he's also, and listen to this, a Guinness World Record holder. And I cannot wait to hear all about this. Robert, I must say, it is my privilege to have you on my show. I'm so grateful and thankful for you coming to my show, sharing your wisdom and your value with our audience. Thank you and welcome to my studio.
Yeah, it's an honor. It's an honor to actually be here, all the way from Canada.
And this is exciting. And this is the reason why actually right now we are pre-recording this show because of the time difference. But those who are watching us right now, don't forget to comment below. And most importantly, whatever Robert will talk about, please make sure you make your notes and also you apply. And once you applied all that knowledge, make sure you report to us because I'm sure Robert would love to hear how awesome results you achieved because Robert learned from so many exciting and really well-known and well-recognized people.
Yeah, 52 people I've studied are the top achievers in the world.
Wow.
Be where I'm at today. But you know what? I want to walk everybody through something. Now, the reason why I want to walk people through this is because I want to let you know that what you see online may not be what really it is. So people look at me and say, man, you're on top of the stool. You're up there with Tony Robbins. You're up there with this person, that person, Jack Canfield. Let me examine. You paint the picture yourself, okay? Here's how it's going to be. I want you to paint the picture. But I want everybody there just a few seconds, close their eyes and just imagine what I'm going to say because this is going to blow your mind when you look at the situation. All right. So paint the picture. Remember that you're painting the picture. It's all going to be true though. So I was brought up really, really rich. We had a skating rink in the backyard. I was always on vacation. I always had somebody drive us back and forth, a chauffeur style. Now, like I said, everything there was absolutely the truth. But I know people out there, I said this before on stages, and there was one lady said, you know what, here's this guy that's never had a problem with money. He's always rich, and I can't afford a pair of pants for my son. I said, remember, you painted the picture. Now, let me tell you how it really was. All right, when you look at the situation, we were really rich. All right, it wasn't with money. My dad worked 3 jobs to put the food on the table for 3 of us. Right, and paid all those bills. We hardly ever seen them. Right, the skating rink in the backyard just so happened my dad was working for the city at the time, where he was the maintainer of the school that was right behind our house. That school behind our house had the skating rink, and our house just happened to be right there. Right, so another thing is I was always on vacation. Yeah, I was in and out of jail because of my bad behavior. Right, at the same time, the person that was chauffeuring us was the bailiff back and forth to court. So when you're judging someone, try and judge and get to know the person behind the story.
This is shocking, and it's not something what I was expecting to.
You didn't even know that.
No, I didn't, and I'm just listening to this, thinking like, "Excuse me, am I speaking to the same Robert?" Yeah. I only questioned myself, but you are saying such harsh truth that very often we look at somebody and we think, oh, they have amazing life, or they achieved so much, or their marriage looks amazing, or their house looks amazing, but actually we never know what is behind it. But knowing you a little bit more now, isn't like comparing to what I knew about you before, I can tell that you, with your drive, with your ideas, with how quickly you think and you do it on the spot, I'm not surprised you became successful. However, you do have that interesting past. And it just shows how you really can transform your life from absolutely nowhere, being in the rock bottom, being nobody, to check yourself out, right? Speaking with the top people, being a co-author together with Jim Rohn's business partner, Kyle Wilson, and many other achievements. I mean, who does that? Come on, Robert.
Jack Canfield, Jim Rohn. I got an example right here. Right, check it out. Here's one of the bigger names.
There we go. There we go. Can you, because I can't see it from far.
You can't see that?
Yes,
okay. Over by Sir John C. Shin, which happens to be an exclusive producer of Think and Grow Rich legacy movie.
There we go.
That was my last book I put out with him in it. I got Satish Vermin. He's the CEO of Think and Grow Rich. I've got, you name it. I mean, there's not many people I don't have. Tony Salini from out there. I have him. He's done one for me. I've known personally. I've been out there visiting him. And, I know a lot of different people that I was never connected to before. And it's all because I started putting the trust into me, believing in me. And that was after reading, like Napoleon Hill. I'm actually good friends with the CEO of Napoleon Hill, Don Green, right? And Think and Grow Rich, like I said, Satish Verma, and Jim B., which is Hill, is the grandson of Napoleon Hill.
Yes, yes. And I love the way how you said it. It was all about believing in yourself.
Yeah.
Very often we are chasing somebody to be proud of ourselves, which I did as well. I'll put hand on my heart and I will say I was chasing my mom being proud of me. I was chasing my partner being proud of me. And then I realized, forget it all. It's you believing in yourself and your powers.
Well,
and
I gave up believing in doing it for other people because, first of all, when I talk about being in a jail, I was 16 years in that jail. Yeah. People gave up on me. They didn't want me around. I lived on the streets for 7 years. So if you look at the situation, I always tell people, I remember eating a sandwich out of the garbage can. I seen the bite marks there. I took the bite marks off and I ate the sandwich because I was hungry. So out of the garbage can to 1.2 million business product right now.
Yeah. Yeah. And speaking to 1.5 million of people very short.
Next week, 1.2 million people I was just asked to speak in front of. And then after that, it's 2.5, all online. That it's all proven strategies. Mm-hmm. And they come to me and ask me to help them out with being their publisher. So I said, hello.
Yeah. And you don't get these offers. You don't get these offers if you're just an average Joe. You don't get these offers if you're just thinking, I want to just be happy in life. And Robert, that's exactly what sometimes really makes me frustrated. When I speak to people and I ask them, what's your goal? What's your aspiration? What's the biggest thing you would like to achieve? And when I hear, I would like to be happy. Honestly, the one thing what I want to do is just slap them. Because
I love empowering other people and enhancing their lives and where they're at right now. So I bring people out of the stagnant, their whole business. They come from stagnant, sometimes scarcity, right? And bring them up to a level where they can only dream of being.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And you got to go really big in your mindset first. When you wish for something just to be happy, you can't measure that. Even Bob Proctor.
It's too big to dream small.
Yes, exactly. Bob Proctor says you can't measure happiness. You can't measure amazing marriage, but you can measure money. You can measure your success. You can measure what you have achieved, because what you have and what impact you have made, because you can measure people you impacted, amount of countries you visited with your talks, amount of books you sold. You can measure that.
If you sit there and do it for the love of money, though, if you sit there and do it for the love of other people,
yes,
you're going to stay broke.
Yeah.
I will guarantee it. I had a guy one time, he was telling me about his why. To me, my why is right here in this house. My wife, I retired my wife years ago. My 3 children are here, and I pay for everything. One income, boom, I do it. I don't mind. I love it. I enjoy it. I bought her a new car last week to keep them safe, put the 3-year warranty on it on top of it. Brand new tires. I said, I want them safe. That's all I care about. And it was for her. Here's your car. Oh, well, thanks. And then I paid the insurance off for a year. right? And I did that because I don't want worries of bills. I don't like bills coming in, so I just pay it off for a year. But the thing is, when you look at the situation, I had a guy tell me his why. He came to me. When he first came to me, he gave me a business card. It was actually at an event, a good buddy of mine, Raymond Aarons. He came up to me and says, Robert, he says, I need someone to talk to us. Right here, let's talk. What we're going to talk about. Right? Are you okay? I mean, I used to be a therapist for 15 years, so, and a counselor for 12, registered. And he says, well, here's my business card. And I actually looked at it and read it. He said, I was the only two people out of that whole place that read that business card. And what it said was, I'll never forget. He had his name on there. Everything looked professional except for the very bottom. It said, looking for that opportunity. That's all it said, right on the bottom, looking for an opportunity, not a profession or nothing. He was broke. He didn't know what to do. He said, I'm looking for an opportunity. I said, can we have a lunch sometime together? And he said, sure, we can. So we go have lunch, and he tells me his why. I said, what is your why? Talk to me about your why. I mean, there's something impacting you, something I'm missing. He said, well, he was telling me about, first of all, he was telling me about his girlfriend. He was looking to get married with her. He has a child on the way. They're $200,000 in debt. No word of a lie to both of them, $200,000 in debt. Wow. His why wasn't that though. His why was the fact that he was so much loving the fact that his mom raised him and she was struggling at the time. He had to give most of his money to his mom.
Wow.
And I said, wait a minute. I said, that's your why? Is there a reason why you're in debt, you think? Mm-hmm. So I switched things around. He came to me 2 years later. He came to me, like just actually last week or 2 weeks ago. You know what he said to me? I'm so bloody grateful for you, man. He says, somehow or another, something you said to me stuck. Because now I work for Bob Proctor.
Oh, wow. Exciting.
Yeah. Somehow or another, I work for Bob Proctor. I said, well, that's a big hit.
Yes, it is. It is. But
I know Bob Proctor personally. I mean, I've been on stage with him 3 times now.
But there's the thing, when you make the decision, it is about that moment of time. It takes that tiny nanosecond of you switching from where you were before and making that decision. It's not even about the first step, not even about 10 other steps. It's about making the decision that today I'm going to make it different. I'm going to live different life.
Les Brown says it best. Les Brown says it best. And I think you guys need to understand this very clearly. Write it down if you have to. Do not allow someone else's opinion of you become your reality.
Yes.
Okay? I'm trained by Les Brown, and I also got to coach his daughter. Figure that out.
Yeah.
His own daughter. I coach his own daughter, right? I coach other famous people out there too. And it's not because of the fact of, look at me, look at me, look at me, look at me. It's because I've earned that right.
Yes.
Right? I've earned the right. People come to me. I don't go to them. They come to me.
Yeah. Yeah. Because they know who you are. But Robert, I would love to hear the entire story, what you were going to share in the interview. Remember, like we were talking, like, I'm going to share this story. I don't want to say the name of that story, but when you did your first event, I'm going to give you a little hint. Would you like
my
to
first
share?
event? Which part of that you want to talk about? The first? Yeah. You're gonna love this. I've held lots of events where I fill the rooms by myself. I've fired people in my whole staff, and I did the whole job myself to learn all aspects of my business. But to be there, I had to start off with busting my ego. I'm gonna call it, because I had rented a room. Right? Big enough room to hold 300 people in that room. And I bought food from a buddy of mine that caters food. Up to 300 people were able to eat very comfortably. Okay, so here I go. I'm thinking, okay, well, when's everybody going to show up? When's everybody going to show up? 4 people showed up the entire day. 4 people. You want to talk about embarrassing, but at the same time, I have to think fast. Yeah. All right, so I said, listen, you know what? We're okay with the 4 people, because here's how we're going to do it, guys. These 4 people were professional speakers. They understood exactly what I was going to do. I asked them to put their I was going to say pillows, pardon me, their coats and everything else around the other chairs, so the cue sticks wouldn't be so loud in the room. And I started spreading the food out to every second chair, so that the cue sticks wouldn't bounce off that area, so it wouldn't sound so hollow. So then I put the cameras behind all 4 of those people, right? And then I'm up there talking like there's 1,000 people. Yeah, you in the red shirt, you understand? I say, I can see because you're going like this and, you know, blah, blah, blah kind of thing. And then it was a success. So I got all 4 of them do testimonials at the end, and nobody questioned about the others. Not one person ever questioned about the rest of the room. Not one person. But I'm telling you, there was only 4 people in that room. So the next time I did it, I didn't buy the food next time. I'll tell you that right now, because there was a lot to take home, right? But what I did do is I accumulated 25 people in that room. And I made sure I put the cameras right behind, squeezed everybody in, and did basically the same thing, made it look like 1,000 people in the room, and then 75 people. And then, but the thing is, you've got to give the value. You got to give the value of what's going to happen that day, what they're going to get, how they're going to receive it, where they're going to receive it. Are they going to wait 6 months to receive that value? No. You know, I'm the kind of person, I'll give it away for free. Imagine what you get when you pay for me.
Exactly. And I love the fact that it didn't stop you. It didn't break you. It didn't stop you. You didn't go in the corner and cry. You actually delivered. And
I look at that as an opportunity to grow.
Yes. Yeah.
It's an opportunity to grow.
Yeah.
I mean, same with negativity. Negativity is an opportunity to look at the positive. What are you doing wrong? I mean, obviously, if there's negativity, what are you doing wrong to deserve that? Obviously, you got to look at the positives, do 2 positives to a negative, right? And you got to look over the growth.
Yes, I love that. And I must say that ability to actually look for the opportunity in every situation, even when you have just 4 people showing up, is priceless. But you got to really practice that. It doesn't come just like that. You don't wake up having this amazing talent of seeing opportunity in every situation, but you got to practice. And
when I did the Guinness World Records, I had 131 people show up out of 150. That's unheard of. Normally, when you have 150 people, you normally get 75, 60 people show up because they paid, they don't need to come. I don't know why, but this is the Guinness World Record one I did. Now, Raymond Aaron was there. He was one of the top guys in the world.
Yes.
He was there too. And he says, Robert, I can't believe the energy all day. He says, I don't know how you did this.
Wow.
He's also been to this one here,
yes.
the big banner behind me where I did the Magnetic Entrepreneur, the first in history gala awards ceremony. And it was a black tie, red carpet, gowns, the whole 9 yards. First in Canadian history to ever do it.
Amazing. And
I filled the room.
Did you tell that story about those 4 people at this event?
Those 4 people were actually there. They were there. They were at the event.
Wow, that is remarkable. You see,
they followed me all the way through, those 4 people.
How amazing. I was going to say, how remarkable is that to have people who saw you at the rock bottom when you were just building, and then they see you building, going higher, and they're still there. They still support you. They still believe in you.
Now, I was just on the phone, not on the phone, but on a Zoom call like this with one of the guys that actually, he's an 8-time media champion right now. And I hired him through when I went to the UK and won my Author of the Year award and came back. There's a guy in the UK that actually directed me to this guy. And he said, you know what, this guy will help you out get noticed. He's a PR, public relations. So when you look at the public relations situation, you got to understand one thing. You're either going to make it or break it or listen. And I had to listen. Because make it or break it's not going to work unless you do listen.
Yes.
So here's what I did. I listened to him. I did things differently. I'm a different kind of person. I don't like doing things inside the box.
I love that.
His rule is you hire him, he teaches you, he gets you out there. It's not what I want. I want you to teach me how to do it so I don't have to hire you next month. I said, I'm not trying to be cocky, but I'd rather learn how to do it myself. Yeah. And he says, nobody's ever asked me that before. And I said, well, I'll give you time to think of it. If not, I move on to someone else. Came to me next day. He says, okay, here's the fee you pay. I'll train you, and that's how it works. You know what? Because of that, he said it's made him a lot of money because he did a video on how to teach people how to do it. He did a video on how to bring people to that new level. He said, I made a ton of money off it. And he says, not only that, look at you grow.
Yes.
I've been on magazines all over the world. I was accepting my Author of the Year award. I was in the other room talking to a guy from a magazine company from New York, right? And I was doing the interview quickly enough before I got on stage. You know, I've also become Canada's top 100 professionals classified, right? So, I mean, it's really grown, and I don't do this to brag. I don't care what you guys think of me because you want to know education. I got the education behind it too, but I'll prove to you I'm not in it for me, all right? First of all, when I got clean and sober, going on 16 years on the 7th of September, I went and got my grade 12. Then I got social service worker diploma, my dictionary degree, my BA in psychology, my master's in counseling psychology, my harm reduction, mental health crisis. I also refused in the UK. I refused honorary doctorate degree because I didn't need it. I didn't need it. What I need it for? I don't need it. But I'm also doing my PhD, and I got 5 classes left, and my PhD in integrative medicine. Now, the thing is, I can call myself doctor. I can put all those things behind my name. What did I say my name was? Robert J. Moore. I want you to believe in me,
Yes.
not those credentials.
Yeah.
I utilize those credentials to empower and assist you along your way.
True. And I can relate to that because I was never a person who actually is into all these big names and credentials, because I think it's about you being you and having a reputation of what you do, because you can have all those amazing credentials, you can have all those flashy things, but actually if you don't deliver, if you don't do what you do, then unfortunately people will not remember you, will not recognize you. Simple as that. So I admire you that even by the way how successful you are, you know, by all those achievements which you have done, by so many books which you've written, by so many programs which you have done, by so many people who you're speaking to off the stage, virtually, you're still humble. I think it's really remarkable, because personally,
I act like I'm on my first book all the time, but really I think I've published almost 50.
Wow.
And look at me. I mean, there's a few of the books here, like just lining up right here. Like,
It's incredible. I mean, it's really incredible. But you see, I would like to hear from you, if you don't mind to share something different, because I interviewed so many people already, and many successful people talk about very similar stuff. Of course, because success leaves clues, right? We all know it's about persistence. It's about knowing your why. It's about, you know
why you're hearing things that are similar lately? I'll tell you why. Because all day long you've been interviewing my students.
Well, not, yes, some of them, but even before I was interviewing your students, even before that, because I interviewed people like John Gray and Brad Sugars and many other people who are in the world of, you know, authors and stage. And now
you give me the topic you want to talk about, and I'll be able to walk you through it.
for me, it's about that next level. What
Sure.
do you think people should do for them to get to the very next level? Not a tiny step, not two
Mind
steps.
map.
Pardon?
Mind map.
Love
Okay,
that.
look at the situation, mind mapping. You want to look who you resemble in life, okay? When I first started, it was Tony Robbins. I was being a therapist. I was doing the things I was doing. He was really intrigued me. Now, I never went to his event to say, okay, well, I want to get to know Tony Robbins. Yeah, I got a picture with him. I don't brag about it. I go get a picture with him. But I look at up top. I say, okay, how the lighting is. I see how he's dressed, how the paperwork is, how you bring people in. All right. Now I'm doing the mind map. Here's me. Here's him. You got to use all the W's, right?
Mhm.
How this happened? Where's he suitable in the field? Who's he helping? Why is he helping those people? Mind map the situation. How do you relate to those? How many people does he help? Does he have charities? Right? You want to see all the mind map about the situation he's doing. Now look at yours over here. You put out how you do it. Okay, if he's doing all this stuff for the thousands and thousands of people to empower them to bring them out of themselves, how do you relate to that? Obviously, you're intrigued by him. How do you relate to that? How do you relate to the situation of him feeding all these millions of people?
Yes.
Do you want to help feed those people? Do you want to start a charity? Do you want to be incorporated with a charity? How do you want to work that out? So mind map the situation, find out where you fit in. If that's not the proper fit, try and pick someone that more related. How's that for different?
This is amazing. So everybody who's watching us right now, if you're thinking to get the next level, this is what you should do. Mind map your journey. Look at those who are way and above successful, check them out and mind map them. Because again, success leaves clues, but if they have done it, of course you can do it as well. But you got to know how. And actually, they don't even hide it. Everything is out there, everything is visible. They talk about this all day long. I love that. You see, this is slightly different to what people normally say, because everybody talks about being persistent and having your why and your purpose, which I believe in and I think it's strong. So what you just said actually is very, very different. I like it. Mind mapping.
Here's one thing that's another thing that's different. I'm a publisher. I got books out there, all right? And I allow people to buy a chapter off me to tell their story on that topic of the book. So it's always Magnetic Entrepreneur, all right? Subtitle, whatever the subtitle is at the time right now. So if you go on my Facebook, Robert J. Moore, you'll sit there and see a bunch of them on the go right now that you can actually go in there, you can learn your why, whatever, you can share your story. But that one thing I do famously at the end is I allow you to put 300-word bio back there in case someone wants to get a hold of you. So it's a marketing strategy for you guys as well as a hit for me, because you always become international bestseller. Who wouldn't want to be an international bestseller? And you know what? Because of the fact that these sponsors came in and they're doing series of 10 books at a time, you have an opportunity to get in for $97 US. I normally charge $1,500.
And how powerful
Right?
is that? How powerful.
You know what I mean? Like to have that opportunity to write a 2,000-word story and be out there and associated with all these other people, you're learning something new. You're collaborating with these people. I always have someone famous do the forward for me, always, right? Always. I mean, if I showed you the people doing the forward for me, you're like, whoa. But I mean, I got one out there with, you know, like I said, there's John Chin out there. Jack Canfield's doing one. Kyle Wilson, you know, two-time heavyweight champion of the world. You know, I got all these different people doing things for me. And it's all because I'm not afraid to ask. But the thing is, when you ask something, you got to make sure you know how to back up your credibility before you get there. So your credibility comes from other people. So you talking about me is credibility. Me talking about me that's not very credibility, is it? That's bragging.
Yeah. Exactly.
So when you're in a book, now it's different in the book. When you're actually putting your words in that book, it's not bragging. All right, it's allowing the book to tell the story for you.
Yes.
Right, you need to understand that.
Love that, and I love how innovative you are. You are incredibly innovative. I mean, to come up with an idea with that Guinness record, I was thinking like, how did he achieve that? How did he do that? And when you told me the entire story, please tell us that story. I was blown away. I was like,
I worked 18 hours a day for 12 months.
Oh my God.
I ended up being sicker than a dog before I even got on stage. I ended up having COVID-19 and I could not get on stage. I was sicker than a dog, throwing up blood. And I still sat there with a smile on my face, helping people out, guiding them through the day. And people just said, man, it was just fantastic. But the thing is, all right, I had the very first couple of months, I applied. They refused me. I applied. They refused me. I applied. They refused me 4 times. Finally, I said, listen, what can we do to do this? And I had to look at their words. They use different wording on things, right? So I looked at the words and I said to myself, well, they're asking for something different because 50,000 people apply.
Yes.
They only take 1,000 people.
Yeah.
Okay, so your application could be painted on the wall or it could be used for good use. When they looked at my situation, they called me up, and every time you apply, you got to pay money. You got to pay money every time you apply, by the way. I mean, there's a lot of money involved in these people. They like money. So simply put, I finally got a chance to speak in front of the board. 12 people sitting at the table, and I'm there talking. They said, remember, you got to make this unique for us to accept. So I said, here's the thing. I am a publisher. Now, this is the worst part is you guys are going to laugh at me. I stole the Guinness World Record, the title, from the UK. I apologize, but I did. I actually took it from the UK and brought it to Canada. So, but the funny thing is, I wanted to make it so unique that I would get picked. All right. So basically, I said, I'm a publisher. It's the whole thing is you have to beat 115 at the time. 115 people signing simultaneously at the same time the same book. Mm-hmm. So everybody thinks that you have to go over top of everybody's shoulder and be signing at that time that one book like that and no other physical books. But no, not like that. What I had to do was I put 150 people's bios in the book. I published it, sold over 100 copies online to show that will go. Then I had to, like, there's a lot more to it. I'm just giving the shortcuts.
Yeah.
Then I had to prove that it took 4 months to actually have the cover approved by them. Right? They had to approve it. They had to go. Oh my God! I do a book in a couple of days and put it out there. It becomes an international bestseller. But it didn't work that way with these people. They wanted to make sure it took 3 months. So it went from there. Next thing you know, I got the 150 people. I put them in the book. They didn't want this one in. They didn't want that one in. So I had to give them the money back for being in the book. I had to straighten it out. It was rough. It was rough. Finally, we got approved on it. The day of comes. I'm sicker than a dog. The lady calls me 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm just finishing off doing the labels and everything for the next day, doing the event. 3 o'clock in the morning. Robert, can I see you down in the room? No problem. We need this change in order to make this happen. I'm thinking, wow, really? I had no sleep at all, none whatsoever that night. I was excited, but I was overworked. I was overwhelmed. And then it's like, you know what? We switched everything around the way she wanted. I just said, you know what? Just do it. Get it over with. And I was like, I'll be happier when she hands me that plaque and her ass is on the way out the door. Yeah. That's when I'll be happy. That's what I said out loud. I didn't realize she was standing there and heard me. So she came up to me and decided to, oh, you can't have this person over here watching over that table over there because I know you. And I said, what do you mean? Because I know me. She goes, yeah. Anybody that's going to look over and judge and be on my team can't know you. I said, how's that possible? I know people all over the world. I said, my business is well known. I said, the book's called World Renowned for a reason. She goes, now listen, I'll let it happen this time. She just wanted that authority. That's all she wanted because I said what I said. She just wanted that authority. Then she says, and another thing, I really hope you have extra books in case someone comes off the street and wants to buy one. That wasn't in the contract. So she's just bringing this stuff up. And I'm thinking to myself, thank God I had a bad run of books because I brought them just to make it look good, right? So I brought them, I set them there. I didn't care what happened to those books either. I didn't care. You can have them do whatever, right? But everything she said, I shut down, right? So then the deal was 115 people. So what I did was I handed out all the books to people when they walked in. They each got their own individual book. Nobody had to go over top of the shoulders or anything. As soon as you sign it, you got to hold it up like this. And that's that, right? If you feel like putting the video part of the video in where I won in this, when you edit it, go for it.
That would be wonderful. Absolutely. Would love that because that is such a big moment because not many people actually have the title of winning Guinness record, right? So this is remarkable, but it just shows how really resourceful you are and innovative and really brave. Because one thing is come up with an idea, but second is also to move on with this idea and keep pushing no matter what. And it's what you did.
I said that, remember I was talking earlier about the guy that I actually got to be taught by and be out there by, the 8-time media champion. I phoned him up the one time and I said, I'm going to host this event, a really big event. He goes, do you know what you're really getting into? I said, yeah, no, I don't know, but I'm going to do it. He goes, Robert, he goes, just to let you know, I've seen a lot of people lose a lot of big money. I've seen a lot of things happen where it just doesn't work. And he says, you just fired all your staff. And I said, but I fired my staff to learn aspects of my business to help them grow. So the media, the fact of marketing, the fact of all the stuff I had to do in my business. I actually done it myself so I could learn where the flaws were so I could hire someone later on down the road. And they can't tell me, oh, this is not going to work because of this. It's going to work, right? So I didn't have any staff or nothing to do this. I didn't hire nobody. And the event, the big one here, right here, is when I did that in, and I invited him down. And I also invited a couple top-notch people in the world. Armin Morin, top strategist in the world, was there, right? A good buddy of mine. I had some of the Tim Burt. He did over $550 million in sales and CBC radio and everything else. He was there. Raymond Aaron, he was asked to be there. I mean, there's some top people I had on that stage, you know. But the thing is, it's not about having the top people there, but having the top people there sure influenced the people coming.
Yes.
So if you can actually get those top people coming, it's a bonus,
Yeah.
right? And stick with the topic that the theme. I actually had 200 people, 165 people showed up.
Wow.
Because of the benefit and the value I gave. And it was strong all day long. Strong all day long. And people won their awards. They were very happy. They're asking me when the next one is. I got to wait for the COVID-19 to open up a bit more. I'm only allowed so many people in the room. So this time, last time it was like, I think 40, says 40 awards up there. I gave away 50 though, because I gave away a few extra.
Yes.
I'm only giving away 25 this year, and people are like crazy over it, right? So it was quite nice. It was a beautiful red carpet event. I had food and everything involved in it. It was networking. But what I did was I separated this year. I separated the business aspect of it. I already held that event, right? And this one here is more of a marketing event. So I'm not having any speakers at it. I'm going to give everybody their awards, networking. I might have entertainment. I got a buddy of mine called Danny Z. He's one of the top people in the world for actually doing magician, hypnotism, and all that other stuff. Plus, he owns Star 97 radio station.
Wow.
So,
Wow. I just can tell you're going completely like above and beyond any sorts of limitations. I think in your world, in your particular word, there's no such a word as limit or
why would there be? I used to look at all these people like, I mean, I've shared stage with Bob Proctor, Raymond Aaron, Mark McCoy, gold medalist, you know, Armin Morin, I don't know, you name it. Eric Thomas, hip hop preacher, all these people that I used to put pedestals on.
Yes.
Right. I see people actually put me on a pedestal. And I tell them, don't put me on a pedestal. We're all human. We're all at the same level. Just I'm being more marketing on my side to be more recognized.
Yes.
Right. So, I mean, you'll have people come to you if you're doing the right thing. If you're not doing the right thing, you're going to hear, but also another thing you're going to hear, if you're doing the right thing, you're going to hear people try and take your stuff on and do your stuff, which is, don't get mad. It's a blessing because you know what? People want to be like you. That's fine. I've had people try and take my whole business and try and make it work for them, but they didn't have the foundation. All right. I teach people right from grassroots up how to build the foundation. I do not forget where I come from. I'm going to warn you right now. I do not forget. I'm the kind of person I bring you from grassroots all the way up to my level. I like staying at my level. I don't want to go any higher because of the fact of one thing. I don't want to forget where I came from. Where I came from is very vital in my life, right? And it's something I'll never forget. So, I mean, straight out forward, I just want to make the things happy in my house here. That's my why. And I told my wife earlier this morning, I said, listen, actually, no, it was last week I told her that. I want to build a house. I don't want to live in the city like this. I said, we have an RV right now. It's a 40-foot RV. It's a traveler. It's a gorgeous one. The walls pull out. It's like $200,000 machine I got from my dad when he died, right? I retired my father before he died too, though. I called him up at Father's Day, and it was a dream of mine to happen, a dream of mine. Called him up, and we went to the casino for a few rounds. He goes, Robert, I don't really have the money for this. Just don't worry about it. I said, here's $100. Here's $100. Let's blow it. He says, what do you mean let's blow this? Well, we win, we lose, we lose. As long as we have a good time. It's Father's Day, man. Let's enjoy ourselves. So he was complaining about his legs being sore, his knees. And I said, why don't you just retire? What's it going to take to retire? He goes, Robert, I don't have that kind of money. I said, you don't need that kind of money to retire. I said, how much do you need? He said, $20,000 to $30,000 a year. I would retire him. And I said, consider it done.
Exactly.
Consider it done. I said, that's it? That's all you need? He goes, he looked at me and he says, what are you talking about? I said, you retire. I'll give you the $20,000 or $30,000 a year.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, I mean, every year, not just once? And I said, yeah, Dad, every year. So every time I went to visit him, I'd slide a couple $1,000s on his laptop, pretending I was fixing it and walk away. Or I go in and start paying his mortgage off for him. Right? One or the other.
But what's really interesting here, when you mentioned all this, that actually people usually get used to where they were before. And that's the reason why many people cannot believe that things can change, can just completely take off where they were before, and they can change completely. That's why for him it was a question, will it happen only once? Because people get used to their situation, their circumstances, their level of life, and they cannot see themselves anywhere else. That's why hearing what he asked, I'm not really surprised. I'm not surprised at all, because my mom, she was having the same question, like, really? You're gonna just send money monthly? I was like, yeah. And it was just, for her, it was surprise, because how does it happen? And we have to remember that here we're talking about different generations. Like in their generation, that didn't happen, right? Like my mom until now, she can't comprehend that you can be paid for talking. So what do you mean you stand on the stage and then they pay you money? I said, well, yeah. What do you mean you sit one-to-one with?
If you do it right, they might throw tomatoes at you otherwise.
Yeah, exactly. And she's like, but it's not a proper job. I'm like, well, Mom, it is a job, right? It's just not, in her eyes, a proper job. And that's the thing. We have different generations, and that's why it just shows how important it is to challenge yourself, your beliefs, and how your world supposed to be. And I love the fact you challenged your dad and you transformed his life by saying, you know what? That's it. You go, you retire, because this is beautiful. This is
Here's one thing I'm going to mention. I did before he also died too. 2.5 years before he died, I prayed when I was out looking for a car. I wanted to surprise my dad. I said, God, just give me a car, because my dad had a bucket of boats. I got him to sell it in the States before he came back, because he had the RV. I said, just sell that bucket of boats. We'll look for another one when you come back. I said, don't worry about it. So he actually followed my advice and sold the car. He got back. He says, Robert, what do I do? I said, don't worry about it. I said, I'm going to be up there in a few days. You'll be happy. We'll go look for something. He goes, oh, I like that Cadillac over there. I like this. I said, I was thinking like too high. He don't have that kind of money, and I'm not putting that money in for that, right? So I actually went out and actually bought the car. He didn't know this already. I've already bought the car. The funny thing is I was showing him the car online. I said, I'm really thinking about this, but I don't know how that would work, how this worked. Now, he knew about cars. I knew exactly what I was doing. It was called reverse psychology to get his opinion on the car. So I went from there. I had the car all set up, put it in my name, put the insurance in my name, and took it to him. And I brought 2 cars. One was driven by a friend of mine, and one was driven by me. Yeah. And Dad says, oh, okay, cool. How you doing? I said, Dad, you might as well drive this to school for lunch, or I think it was dinner time or something at that time. Go out for dinner. He drove the car that I was going to give him, which I did give him. And I said, what do you think of this car? And he goes, geez, that's a nice ride. It's got nice air conditioning, like the way it floats. I said, by the way, I didn't buy it for me. I bought it for you. He goes, oh, okay. An hour later, he says, so where's the ownership so we could sign it over and I go transfer it over tomorrow? I said, Dad, the ownership stays in my name. I bought it for you. I pay the insurance. Don't worry about it. You don't have to do anything. Just pay for the repairs.
Yes.
He goes, I don't understand this. I said, you don't have to. I said, I prayed to God you would have a car that would be safe.
Yes.
Okay, no word of a lie. Now, you want to hear something interesting? When my dad died, I used that car to help me move to an area that was 20 minutes away. Oh. I did several trips, maybe 5, 6 trips. And I remembered, I said, I said to myself, Thank God. Thank you, God, for allowing my dad to have this car to make him feel safe. It wasn't 5 minutes after that, the car broke down and I had to send it to the wreckers. The whole front end axle dropped right out. Figure that out. It wasn't for me to drive. I asked for it to be safe for my father. That was it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
It literally, I had to send it to the garbage. It was garbage after that. The whole axle part of it, the whole frame, broke in half. I never seen that before in my life, and I've owned a lot of cars.
It just shows again, you were praying for him to be safe, and he was safe, but it was not your car.
Not
And
for.
it just proves what is yours, and what is
I
not.
just said that. I just said I just asked for my wife to be safe too. So I guess I'm not getting that vehicle anytime soon.
Well, don't you drive her car?
I'm allowed to drive it when she's alive, but if she ends up dying or something like that, I'm getting rid of it right away because I know it's going to happen.
Now you know. But hey, fingers crossed, she's gonna live a long life. Fingers crossed.
Well, you know what? One thing I can honestly say, one thing you don't know, I was 19 years old, going on 20. The two oldest children, my 29 and 28-year-old, my common law wife at the time died giving birth.
Mm,
It set me on a turmoil of drugs and alcohol.
yeah.
When my little guy I have a 2.5-year-old here. When he was being born, she was rushed in. She almost died from giving birth.
Wow.
So that was hard. But at the same time, in between that, I want to let you know another responsible thing I did. My brother Thomas died 2001 of a car crash, drinking and drugging kind of thing. He was a passenger. My brother Reagan died 2015 of an overdose. My brother Kevin died just right after this Guinness World Record event, after seeing me how happy he was. He says, I've never seen you on stage. He goes, that was amazing. He said, I love this. He said, I've never seen it so amazing. He was just amazed. He ended up dying that time. So I lost 3 brothers to drugs and alcohol, associated to drugs and alcohol, I'm going to say, because they're classifying 1 or 2 of them as a heart attack, but I know differently.
Wow, it's shocking. I'm sorry to hear about all your losses, but it's quite remarkable how.
Mom and dad are gone.
Yeah, mom and dad is gone as well. Yeah, but it's remarkable that you still stay positive and upbeat, and you don't, because some people, they hold on to those losses. And I lost my dad as well before I was even born. It could be quite easy for you just hold on to those deaths and just speak about this all the time and kind of find excuses. But instead, what you do, you go and achieve, and you show that, you know what, yeah, that happened, but that's past. I need to move on. I need to make sure my family is happy and safe, and we all are in love, which is amazing.
Here's the thing. I coached, I was a therapist for 14, 15 years. So I know how to deal with death.
Yes.
The thing is, as you see all these people, they're therapists or carpenters or whatever, like a mechanic, for instance, an easy one to identify. Everybody else's car is perfect but their own, right? So the same thing as a therapist. Everybody else is happy, everybody else doing well, but your own world is shambles. But the thing is, I've learned how to overcome that by digesting the feelings I have and re-identifying them. And what happens to me is, when I feel that way, I work my ass off.
Yes.
I said to my wife, I said, you know what? Today's a day, like July 20th is a bad day for me. I lost my mom on that day. I lost my grandfather on that day, my wife on that day. My son was born on that day, mind you. I said, it's a sad day for me, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to work my ass off till I make $4,000 that day. And I did it. So the next day was another sad day because I got a phone call that a friend of mine killed herself. Right? So I said, well, I'm just going to work my butt off again and make some extra happiness in my life.
Yeah.
So everything that happens is sad like that. Now people say, oh yeah, you can only do that for so long. You're not digesting it. Yeah, I am digesting it because I know how to talk to people. I know how to call someone up and say, listen, I'm just feeling a little off today. I want to digest this. I want to work on this. I want to dilute it. So maybe we could work together and talk about this. And some of the people are big names you wouldn't even experience. I mean, just a friend to talk to out loud.
Yes, understandable. Yeah. Wow. Well, I must say, you know what? From knowing you already for so long time and observing you online and seeing your success, I was always out and I was always amazed. But now having this really deep and completely transparent conversation with you, when you shared so much pain from your past and your truth and who you were before and who you are now, it just connected me to you even more. But it just shows how important it is to be real you, transparent, raw, and authentic. And that's exactly what you showed today, because everything what you were speaking about, from that past which you had to great success to real life situations when you had your family dying one after another, and particularly like in one day, which is really remarkable. It just shows that you are that human being who can completely transform his life and still stay a human being, which I really, really admire about you. So please never change whatever you do, Robert. Please only succeed, all right? I wish you all the wonderful success, because you definitely deserve it, and all that happiness. Because what you have done, not only in your life, in your family, in your world, but also in outside world, is really remarkable. So I'll be very mindful of your time. I know you're a busy person. I'm not going to take much of your time, but I will thank you for being today with me here. And thank you for the value, for the vibe and the energy you shared with us today. And everybody who is watching this, please make sure you take some actions. As you see, Robert is a successful man, but it is for a reason, because everything he spoke about was action-based.
So one thing I want to say is, if anybody feels they want to get a hold of me, they can go on Magnetic Entrepreneur on Facebook. I got over 40,000 people on there. If you look on my YouTube, I got over 52,000 people on there on Magnetic Entrepreneur, LinkedIn, or go Robert J. Moore on Facebook. It's not a problem to contact me, have a little conversation. I don't accept everybody on my friendship. So if you don't have a picture on there, if you're not being logistically real, you're not going to get accepted.
So, all right.
Yeah, I can't accept everybody. I got limited. I get rid of all the stagnant people on there at times. Like, I got Bob Doyle on there. Bob Doyle does things for me a lot of times. He'll, talk about how much he loves me and everything else. I mean, these are people from the movie The Secret, right? I got other people on there that they're fantastic people. I don't want to include them with poison. So if you're poison, I don't want you. I mean, I don't need you there. I want people that want to be successful. And I love upbringing people. I love bringing people in my books. So if you have a book out there, you want to get a book out there, talk to me. We'll talk. We'll see what we can do to help you out.
Wonderful. And I'll make sure I will check, I will post the links to your social media, to your contacts below the video, so actually people can find it easier just to click on them and they can contact you. Well, thank you so much, Robert, once more. I really enjoyed this time with you. I'll be looking forward to speak to you more, and of course learn more from you, because you're truly a remarkable person. And can I just say that people whom Robert knows are absolutely remarkable. I already interviewed a few of them. I already have other people lined up, and I'm so looking forward to that, because you know what also she says about you, Robert, that you are that wonderful energy, because you cannot attract somebody bad, somebody negative, if you are that wonderful person. And it just says a lot. So thank you so much for being you. Please never change. Please always remain the way you are, because the way you are is absolute awesomeness.
And remember one thing, you're well and worthy, so take that step.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
Cheers. Cheers. Thanks for having me.
Invest money in yourself. Do everything you can, because you are the most important asset you will ever have, ever in your life.
This event is monumental, it's actually history.
The event today is astronomical. Being a part of this event was very magical. I had never been a part of anything like this. It's kind of bigger than life.
Today we're breaking a world record, so that's what this is all about, you know, breaking boundaries, doing things that your heart's pushing you to do and you're inspired to do. So I'm glad to be part of this with everyone and enjoy the moment.
3, 2, 1, and begin. The record, if you weren't aware, is 115 people. I can confirm that we had 126 authors sign this, making this a brand new Guinness World Records. I'll be right back with your certificate.
I was wondering, are there any Guinness World Record holders in the house?
I just want to congratulate Robert J. Moore and everybody who participated to help break that Guinness World Record.
Kudos to all of you. Congrats, and I'll see you on the road.
Congratulations on the world record. God bless you. I love you. Hope to see you all soon.
To all of you all, keep grinding and make it happen.
To all the authors, I want to say congratulations and just know that no one can ever take this away. You are forever in your life a record holder.
Today is about taking advantage, and there's nothing wrong with that, of what we've accomplished as a group today in order to maximize our tomorrow.
Because you wouldn't be here if there wasn't some burning desire within you for more.
Great mentoring always brings you more money than your investment, because if you get a great mentor, one sentence could change your life.
I never want to be the smartest person in the room. If I am, I get the hell out. I want to learn from those higher end.
The strength of your message is directly tied to your ROI.
So you don't want the wealth. You want the wealth skills.
The idea isn't for us to give you tools in your toolbox that solve your problems. The idea is for us to open up your toolbox and give you the opportunity to understand the tools that you already have. Does that make sense?
Marketing success is not about the amount you spend. It is about the message you send.
I'm here at Robert J. Moore's amazing event to win a Guinness record, and I did. And I could never, ever have achieved such amazing success without the incredible foresight and wisdom and love of Robert J. Moore.
I really appreciate and love how you're always thinking of others and upbranding them through Magnetic Entrepreneur Incorporated.
What's more exciting about Robert is his mindset that transforms and move people forward and help others.
And really, he has been a magnet because he's drawn all of these people into this room to make this world record happen.
Robert J. Moore has been my mentor. We've developed a friendship, and he's been the guy who has coached me to adding more stuff to my resume.
The spotlight you put on social entrepreneurs and people that are trying to do something for society, and we need more of that. But the kind of news that's gnarly out there, it's designed to startle, and you're putting out some news there that's designed to inspire. So congratulations, thank you. It's guys like you that help us do what we do.
You are the creator of your life.
You are this magnificent divine being. That's who you truly, truly are.
Keep punching, my friend. Keep punching.